Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from game 7 or from championship number 6. Short, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Pompero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh!
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal team. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. Now slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it through to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us on our YouTube page, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, guys. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, you can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. At Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. You want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Listen, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on a screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best Chicago morning sports talk show around, and that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check the chat. The chat seems to be jumping already. That's what I'm talking about. Cornelius Squall's checking in early. What up, what up, what up, Shawn and Sports Owners? He says, it says bear down and FGB. That's what I'm talking about. Mr. Southside himself. What up? I make you picky. TGIF for 2026. Ooh, Charlie. Mr. Michelle Walls in the house. And no burpees today, sir. Thank goodness. My man Black Diamond is in the house at top of the morning, gang. FGB. What? FGB. Yeah, that's about time. Thanks, buddy. My man Armando Meterio. A lot of juniors in the house. I'm like the 4th person. He's like, oh. He's like, Cornelius, Happy New Year. Sean, Happy New Year. Black Diamond, Happy New Year. Oh, yeah. One of my best friends, Shawn, that I've known for 27 years. Yeah, you too. Happy New Year. Great. That's awesome. Thanks, buddy. Did I say Black Diamond? I think I did. Black Diamond in the house. It's top of the morning, gang. FGB. I don't know why I wasn't sure if I said it or not. Good morning. King Booker World. Checking in. Salute, Shawn. What's up, King Booker World? Listen, I don't know about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. Listen, we got a great show, man. But I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you watch, Facebook or YouTube, if a question or comment on that platform, it'll come up in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. Like I said, this is the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. Man, whoo-wee. Listen, at 9:30, we get started at the bottom of the hour. At 9:30, Mike Payton from A to Z Sports covers the Detroit Lions for them. We're going to have him on. We're going to talk all things Bears, Lions, Sunday. And we're going to get a Detroit perspective. I mean, we all know Detroit sucks. We know that. But we're going to see what he's talking about. See what Mike Payton from A to Z Sports is talking about this upcoming matchup. Then at 10 o'clock, my man Glynn Morgan, Bears analyst, is going to join us. We're going to continue talking all things Bears. And I'm fired up about it, man. It's going to be good. It's going to be one heck of a show, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited. It's going to be the race for the number 2 slot in the NFC. And I'll tell you what, that is the number 1 seed is off the table for us. Okay? At this point, let's deal with the facts. Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. But the number 2 seed is there for us. And let me tell you something. There's a very good possibility just like last season, the number 1 seed can fall in the first round. If they fall first round, whoever that is, whether it's San Francisco or Seattle, that'll be determined this week. On Sunday, that game will be that game will determine who is the number 1 seed in the NFC. And it is not a given that they advance. So I don't know what. So it's a possibility that the Bears with the number 2 seed could end up having home field if the number 1 seed loses. So that's on the table. That's on the table. So let me see. One in the score. So we're going to talk to those guys today. It's going to be one heck of a show. Guys, I hope you had a wonderful New Year. Okay? Saw you on Wednesday. I just want to say Happy New Year to you guys. I hope you guys had a great time. Get family, friends, loved ones. Yeah. I hope you guys were smart about your decisions. If you went out, if you didn't, that's cool. That's fine. I didn't do much. I stayed home. It was, man, I tell you, it was crazy because a lot of times I go to bed late. I'll go to bed after midnight and yet still get up in the morning for CrossFit. And so how crazy was it that New Year's Eve I couldn't stay awake? Every other day of the week when I have CrossFit, I go to bed after midnight. But the day that I should stay up for New Year's, couldn't stay awake. I was in my room, lying on the bed. I just came in to lie on the bed, and I'm like, get up. It was a little after 11. I'm like, just get up. Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve is on. They're coming from Chicago. It's going to be live from Chicago this year. You know, it was coast to coast, New York, Chicago, L.A. I'm like, just get up. And I couldn't. All I heard was after midnight, I'm part of like 3 or 4 different group texts. And all I heard was it kept going ding, 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 ding. It sounded like a pinball machine, my phone. I heard that deep in the background, and that was everybody wishing each other a happy new year in the various group threads that I'm part of, group texts. And I remember sliding the phone under my pillow so I wouldn't hear it. I didn't get up. So yeah, my New Year's was rather boring. And a buddy of mine he's like, oh, I got a ticket for you to go to Branding Iron. He spent his birthday is actually New Year's Eve. And he's like, I got an extra ticket for you. Come to Branding Iron. It won't cost you anything to get in. I got you. And I was like, bro, I'm just staying in. I've been out too much. I've done it. I can't tell you how many New Year's Eves I spent out, roaming the city, partying like a madman. And it was just, as I've gotten older, it's just cool to spend it at home. In this case, just sleeping. Junior says, I was in bed by 12:30 on New Year's. Okay. Kibuko said, if my birthday was New Year's Eve, I wouldn't be alive today. Oh, that's crazy. But I want to wish you a happy New Year. A lot of good things are coming up for Sports Zone Chicago this year. I got a new shirt coming out. I was trying to get it by today, so I might have it over the weekend. Can't wear it on Monday because I'll be wearing the Bears Victory Monday shirt. I could show it to you probably. I could show it to you on Monday. My guy has a mock-up of it, and I could probably wear it on Wednesday. And then also, not this Sunday, but the next, I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday, when the Bears are going to be playing in the playoff game. Because remember, they have them on Saturdays and Sundays as well. We'll be having a Bears watch party, Sports Zone Chicago Bears watch party over at Branding Iron. I spoke with the guy yesterday. He's like, good, we're all good. I have my shirts there. I'll have the FGB shirts because we went this week. We have the Packers. All right. If the Eagles lose, which is a good chance because they are resting majority of their starters, we're locked into the number 2 seed as well. Philadelphia's at number 3. We're at number 2. So I'll be there. I'll be selling. You'll see a lot more things on social media with my FGB shirts, with the new shirt I got. So it's going to be dope, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be dope. I'm fired up about it's not even an idea. I didn't come up with the idea. I'm just kind of hopping on the bandwagon and making my own version of it, and of a shirt. And so it's actually pretty cool. So my guy sent me the mock-up, and it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. So we'll see. Yeah, at the bottom of the hour, a couple minutes, Mike Payton from A to Z Sports is going to join us. One of the things I also want to talk about, college football playoffs were awesome. They have been awesome. All right. Except for the James Madison one. I kind of have a connection to James Madison because the coach from James Madison, Bob Chaney, came from Holy Cross. He was at Worcester, I think it was at Worcester Tech for a while. He got the job at Holy Cross. At Holy Cross, he did something that hasn't been done in Holy Cross before ever. That was 5 straight Patriot League championships. 5. When I was there, we won 3 because remember after my 3rd year, my head coach left and went to the University of Maryland. So 5 consecutive Patriot League championships for Bob Chaney. And then he got the opportunity to go coach James Madison. And wow. He's doing wonders with that program. He just needs a little more time. I mean, he's already got him in the playoffs already. In what, his first or second year, I want to say, maybe up there. That is crazy. So Rob Chesney, not Chaney, Rob Chesney. So congratulations to him. We'll always have a fond place in our heart for him at Holy Cross, for what he did for us. We wish him nothing but the best. It's like we wish anyone else who moves on for a bigger and better opportunity. Right? That's just kind of, it's life. We have goals in life, and one of his goals was to coach at the Power 5 level. I get it. It's a goal of many people. And he had that opportunity, so he took it. So we don't know no ill will by any stretch. Nothing but love about Coach Chesney. Man, he took Holy Cross to new heights. And that was the first team. His last year at Holy Cross was the first team that had gone undefeated since my junior year, the 1991 team. That's crazy. That's crazy how it was, 30-something years ago? But yeah, that was the first undefeated team since my 1991 team when I was playing, when we went 11-0, finished up number 3 in the country. And so big shout out to Bob Chesney and the James Madison University football team for all they accomplished. Just getting to the playoffs, because that's crazy. King Booker World said, "Missed it. What did you miss, King Booker World? New Year's? Were you working or something? You got to work?" He said, my birthday is this month, though. Okay. Roast beef, 2351. He said, "Good morning, fellas. What's up, Bobo's first chat? Welcome, Chicago. I appreciate it. Appreciate it big time." Cornelius says, "Happy New Chat." You mean Happy New Year's, chat? That's all right. Hey, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, on the other side of the break, what we're going to do, we're going to welcome. Oh, shoot. We're going to welcome Mike Payton. Yeah, we're going to welcome Mike Payton from A to Z Sports. All right, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Operator 901, where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushrooms.
You've called 911. This is an emergency line.
Do you know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Okay, is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, you're so...
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Comes Jones on the push. This is where the Bulls found success, pacing it up in the first half.
Right by the rookie Queen, having a hard time moving his feet.
And Messi out there. Looney's the veteran. Poole's been around for a while. Oh, the tap won by Williams. Jones down.
Oh, don't hurt him, Kev.
Don't you forget that I can elevate. Smith couldn't squeeze it with that left arm. Here comes Bay.
That's it.
Bay drives. Abuzelis.
Block party.
15 points. Trying to stick with Hawkins. Here's Bay. Jab step for space. Short. Rebound Jones.
Run with him.
Up ahead for Isaac.
That's a nice play by Trey Jones. That's what happened the other night when the Bulls had mismatches and you saw Nas Reed good block. Hurt him.
Buzelis to Dosumu. Back to Murray.
Good two-man game.
Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those comes courtesy of CHSN. Those were the Bullies. On New Year's Eve, they're rocking, baby. They are rocking. Taking the New Orleans Pelicans and Zion to school on New Year's Eve. I wonder if the Pelicans stayed here for New Year's Eve. Just a question. I wonder if they stayed here, partied. I wonder where the Bulls were at. They partied. Good question. I don't know, because I know a lot of times teams like to go out. You know, when they travel to another city, especially if they get there early. Say they play Monday, and then they fly out Monday night. They get there Tuesday. They don't play till Wednesday. So you get there Friday night or Monday night. You get to go out and hang out. Just wonder. Just a question. Interesting. But the Bulls are a little crazy. King Book of World. Okay. January 22nd is your birthday. Okay. So try and make it to the watch party. All right. It's going to be the week. It'll be the first playoff game, which will probably be against the Green Bay Packers. As I said, it'll be Green Bay. They're locked in at 7. Philly's not playing a lot of their starters, so we're probably going to be locked in at 2, win or lose. So the first playoff game, we're going to have another Sports Zone Chicago Bears viewing party. So we'll try and make it out there. King Book of World, Michonne, all you guys, should be a good time. Then my new shirts will be out, so I'll be rocking it. Well, I'll rock it on Wednesday, and guys, grab some if you'd like. All right, my first guest. Let's get it crack-a-lacking, baby. My first guest He is the Detroit Lions beat writer for A to Z Sports. All right, and highly recommended by my guy Evan Winter. So I'm anxious. We're going to get a Detroit perspective. You can find him on Twitter at A to Z _ Payton, just like Walter, Payton, A to Z _ Payton. Guys, is welcome. ShawnSierraSports. ShawnSierraSports. I can't even speak this morning. What the hell? Good thing I don't talk for a living. Guys, it's welcome to ShawnSierraSports. Mike Payton. Mike, good morning, Papa. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, my man. I'm good. Thank you for joining us. Oh man, we're starting off with that hat already. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, you forced me to watch Bulls highlights before.
All right, here we go. We're switching.
How dare you?
Hey, we still say Detroit sucks, but I gotta say that Cade Cunningham is no freaking joke.
Yeah, he's legit, man. He is. I think he's an MVP contender. We'll see.
I was gonna say he's gonna be a problem for people in the future, but he's a problem for people now. That dude is wow. But anyway, talking about Sunday, Bears, Lions, Lakefront. Give me your thoughts on the state of the Lions. All right. I know things happen when coordinators leave because you got new people calling plays offensively and defensively. You guys whooped our ass week 2. How do you think that's going to play out this year? You guys have struggled a little bit with play calling offensively. This Bears team you're going to face is not the same Bears team that you faced week 2. All right, you handed belt to ass big time. But since then we've grown, we've matured, we've gained some chemistry. Caleb has really come into his own under Ben Johnson. Give me your thoughts on Sunday's matchup and how you see it.
Yeah, I mean the Lions don't have anything to play for at this point. It's over for them. You mentioned that the Bears aren't the same team that the Lions played in week 2. The Lions are definitely not the same team that the Bears played in week 2. There's a ton of injuries, key injuries. I mean, their entire secondary, both Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, are out. Terry and Arnold, who had been having the best year of his career, he's out. It's just been bad. It's been real bad. And then on offense, you don't have Sam Laporta anymore, which really changed a lot of how the offense functioned. And then on that offensive line, the Lions, I think, learned the biggest thing this year was not necessarily the loss of Ben Johnson, because the Lions are still the number 1 offense in the league. But losing Frank Ragnow really it was something they couldn't overcome. And I think maybe they thought they could, but it didn't work out.
People don't understand how important the center is. People are starting to understand how important an offensive line is. Of course, obviously you can't do anything without it, but they don't understand how important the center position is, because he's the captain of that offensive line. And you guys had a really, really good one, man. Holy jeez. Again, I don't like Detroit, but man, I gotta give respect where respect's due. Frank Ragnow was arguably the best center in the NFL, and to lose him, your team's definitely gonna be affected by it. So yeah, it's unfortunate for you guys. How do you think Jared Goff is going to fare against us this Sunday? We have Jalen Johnson is back. We have a guy who was snubbed for the Pro Bowl, and Nashawn Wright. We don't really have a very strong pass rush, which could be beneficial to him. We got to bring pressure, and Dennis Allen doesn't like to bring that. But we got some very opportunistic DBs in Jalen Johnson, in Nashawn Wright, in Kevin Byard. How do you see Jared Goff going up against our pass defense?
Yeah, this is kind of where things might get a little contentious, Shawn, and your viewers might not like what I have to say, but that Bears defense, it's not very good.
We know. We know.
Okay, so you guys know. All right, so
statistically, we're not good. Takeaway wise, yes, but without the takeaways, we are below average.
Yeah, I actually wrote an article earlier this week about Dan Campbell wants the Lions defense to be similar to the Bears in the sense that all those turnovers that the Lions or the Bears are able to get, that really masks their deficiencies. It really makes everything. It makes you forget that they're allowing the 5th most yards and the 11th most points. And so I think really if you're Jared Goff, you have to play like you've played all season. I think everybody looks at that Christmas game and they get confused and they think that Jared Goff is like a turnover machine. But coming into that game, he had the lowest turnover rate of any quarterback in the NFL. After that game, he has the 2nd lowest turnover rate of any quarterback in the NFL. All he has to do is play his game. The Lions had turned the ball over just 8 times coming into that game. If they could just go and play a clean game, I think they have a shot. Defensively, I don't know if they could stop Caleb, but we'll see where that goes. Secondary wise, it's a real problem for them. But this could be a potential shootout. It just really depends on how things go. If the Lions start turning it over, that's going to be a problem for them for sure. But if they are able to keep it clean, I think they got a shot.
Talking about our defense, we don't have a pass rush. We've given up a lot of yards on the ground. How are Sonic and Knuckles, you think, going to do against us? And is the rumors that we've been hearing, is David Montgomery really unhappy up there in Detroit?
Yeah, I think the whole rumors of David Montgomery's unhappiness are like incredibly overblown, and that's just people reading too far into Instagram comments. But it's just, no, I don't think David Montgomery's unhappy. I think sure he would love to get some more carries, but the Lions struggling with defensive injuries and stuff, it's put them in a position where they can't run the ball as much because they either have to come back or they got to do what you got to do. But yeah, it just makes a big difference. I don't think David's unhappy. Jameer should still be balling.
Hey, Mike, I got to take a quick break. Can you hold on for a few minutes and then we'll be right back? Guys, we got to take a quick break here and we'll be back on the other side. Keep it locked right here. Back with Mike Payton right here on Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings. I have my dogs. They're the best. I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Pressure comes. Williams throws inside, complete to Loveland.
second-year man to the rookie. Back-to-back first-round picks get a Chicago first down. Play action again. It's worked well. On the run. Got Loveland again to the 19-yard line. Oh, 33.
We're going to bring that safety down, created a wide-open throwing lane. That's the kind of play calling we're talking about. Right there, Ben Johnson anticipating what he was going to get and took advantage. They're showing a zero blitz like they're bringing the house. And then drop out.
And Williams looking. He throws. It's caught. It's Loveland inside the 15 to the 13.
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC. Those were the Bears. Woo. Oh, man. Great situation the other day. I was fired up about it. Fortunately, couldn't come out with the win in San Fran. But we're back with Mike Payton. And so, Mike, I was asking you about the Sonic and Knuckles, the running game that you guys have. And we haven't been very stout in the run. And that's been your trademark for the last couple of seasons. How do you think that your attack is going to be? How effective do you think that's going to be against us on Sunday?
Well, for the Lions, they got to hope that it's better than it has been the last few weeks. They've been starting a third string center, backup left tackle, hurt left guard, rookie right guard. So at least in this game, they're expected to have their starting left tackle Taylor Decker back for what might be his final NFL game, and then Graham Glasgow should be back starting at center for also what might be his last NFL game. So that's when they have those guys in, they run the ball a lot better than they usually do. When they don't, I don't know if you've paid attention to the Lions the last 2 weeks, but you could see just how much the run games get shut down without those guys out there.
Yeah, well, we mentioned it earlier, how important the offensive line is, and especially the center position at being the captain of the offensive line. And when you guys, and trust me, you're preaching to the choir when you talk about crappy offensive line play or mixing, and not just crappy, but backups. All right, that's what, man, we've had backups playing for us for so long. Finally, we upgraded this offseason, and that's really made a difference for us offensively because, as you well know, Ben Johnson loved his run. Everything is predicated off the run game. And right. We finally got an offensive line that is decent enough to give our running backs some space, which has given Caleb, a lot of opportunity to throw. Again, you know it firsthand. You've seen it with Ben for a few seasons, and we're starting to experience it here now. Talk to me about the other side of the ball. All right, we got Caleb Williams, who's going for, who's a 270 yards shy of 300. You got a couple cornerbacks who are out. Talk to me about how we're going to your defense. You think your defense is going to fare against us? I mean, Aiden Hutchinson, he's still available, if I'm not mistaken, right? So he's still a beast. But what else do you have to combat our passing game, which is pretty potent? We have 5 guys with 600 yards or more. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's good, man. You guys are definitely figuring it out over there, and I think the Lions, their whole plan is going to be to try to bring pressure, and if they can't do that, then I don't know. I think Caleb could finally be the guy that hits that 4,000 record. But I just, with Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch out and Terry and Arnold out, it makes things so much harder for the Lions defense because they're allowing so many explosives, so many 20-yard plus plays, and if they can't get that pressure, then that pretty much just kills them. But when they do bring pressure, they look pretty good. I mean, they did lose to the Vikings last week, but they were all over Max Brosmer. They pretty much shut that Vikings offense down. Other than one big play that they had, they didn't do much else. So, but this is way different. Obviously, Caleb Williams is way better than Max Brosmer, and that Vikings offensive line is not as good as the Bears offensive line. So I think it'll be a fun game. But I think shootout is what we're looking for, if anything.
This is going to be I feel it's going to be a revenge game for for Ben Johnson. You guys, I said earlier, belt to ass, and it wasn't even, that was embarrassing what you did to us, and that actually skewed our point differential for so long, even after all of our wins, because we were winning by by one score. We were still we were like just barely in a plus minus. You guys put a 50 burger on us. Okay, beat us by 30 points. Do you see this as a revenge game for Ben Johnson, especially with the fact that you guys are wounded? So you guys are severely wounded on the defensive side of the ball. Do you think this is a game where Ben tries to run up the score? Caleb gets his, goes crazy, maybe can get 300 yards and a couple tutties. How do you see this? You see this a personal vendetta between the Lions and Ben Johnson?
Yes and no. I was around Ben for years. I just don't see him that way. I don't see Dan that way either. I know that the players in week 2, the Lions players, kind of felt like they had been betrayed by Ben Johnson and wanted to really put belt to ass, as you say. That's what they wanted to do. But no, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Ben's going to come into this game looking to embarrass anybody. I think clearly he would like to get a win over his former, mentor or still, I guess, his current mentor. But I don't think it's like a thing where is going to be a jerk about it. You know what I mean? I don't think he'll be gloating after the game and taking his shirt off in the locker room and all that stuff like he did a few weeks ago. But no, I think him and Dan are still great friends and have a lot of respect for each other. But yeah, I mean, I guess from a competitive side, if I were Ben, I would definitely want to come back and make sure that we win this time instead of getting 52 dropped on us, which I don't think is going to happen. But we'll see. No, I mean, you got to look at Dan too. Like, this is an important game for Dan Campbell as well. This is a game where the Lions have to show that just because they're playing for nothing doesn't mean they're going to just give up. So that's just not what Dan expects from his players. So I think everybody knows what's at stake here. This is a divisional game. If you can leave the Bears a little bit embarrassed going into the playoffs and keep them away from that 4,000-yard record, I think they'll be happy about it.
Yes, there is something to play for, and I get it. You don't want that, people reaching milestones, because we are the only franchise, after being the originators pretty much of the forward pass back with Sid Luckman, to not have a 4,000-yard passer. That's embarrassing. But I'm also wondering that as well. Like, is one of his agendas to really get back at it, because there was a lot of shit talking back and forth. And it's football. I get it. I played. I'm not sure if you did, but there's a lot of back and forth. But the one thing I definitely would want if I were Ben, I want that back. I want to get that back. You're the only team we haven't beaten yet in the conference. That's just because we haven't played you a second time. We got Green Bay, we got Minnesota back, and I just think that that's one of the things that's pretty important. Number 2 seed's important, but also you kind of want to save face. I think that's a little embarrassing for us if we win the division with a sub 500 record within the division. I don't know. That's kind of a little crazy to me. So I don't really know how that looks. Talk to me a little bit about Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat has been playing pretty good ball. He's our big $98 million. Say that with rolling my eyes, because he hasn't lived up to it. But the last 6-7 weeks he has, somewhat. How do you want to stop this guy? Because he can put pressure on a quarterback. He has had a couple of key sacks. I tweeted, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I'm like, where the hell are you, $98 million man? And then he was against Green Bay. And then he sacks the quarterback on the last play, so they can't get the play off. I'm like, okay, thank you. It's about time. I'm glad you heard me. But he's been playing some pretty good ball. Talk to me about how you think you're gonna deal with him. You're gonna keep one-on-one blocking with him, or you want to chip him? How do you want to deal with Montez Sweat?
Yeah, there'll be some chipping. There'll be some max protect, jumbo set type stuff. The Lions like to get Dan Skipper out there as kind of an extra tackle quite a bit during the game. Plus, they might even throw him a pass. Sometimes they like to do that, but that all started with Ben. for sure. I don't know if Ben's thrown to any of your left tackles yet, but if he hasn't
not
yet,
yet. We've been waiting, but no, not yet.
He will at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, they like to do a lot of jumbo set. They like to double team guys, chip them as well, try to throw a running back at them. So I would expect Montez to get quite a bit of that. He's going to get some attention for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, it's definitely going to be a good one. We're looking forward to it. I personally think that, the Bears have they have a lot to prove. All right. We're still for some reason we're still being disrespected, even though we're getting more respect, especially among the national pundits. I still think we're still kind of searching for our respect. And I think it's going to be a one heck of a game, an opportunity for us, because that's really all you can ask for is an opportunity. And now you get to take the last team that really put it on you, and you can exact some revenge. Before I let you go, Mike, do me a favor. Give me put you on the spot. Give me a prediction. What do you think for the score for Sunday's game?
I think I look at the Lions, man, and I see a team that they do not want to go limping into the offseason with nothing. And I see a Bears defense that, as long as you could just be clean against them, you can hit them, you can score on them. Yeah. I really think that this has shootout potential. And at the end of the day, I'm going to take the Lions. I just, when you just have that back against the wall, anything can happen in those moments. So I'm going with the Lions, 38-35.
Ooh, okay.
We'll see what happens.
We will.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is at this point.
No, I hear you. Mike gives 38-35 Lions prediction. And we just showed last week that we can score with the best of them. And I get it. San Fran doesn't really have a good pass rush. Then again, neither do we. And I think that's what really helped. That I think that inflated that score. But it was finally fun for us as Bear fans to see us scoring. And it was crazy that, this, I don't know if you heard the stats, the first time in the history of the NFL that a game has been tied 7-0, 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 28-28, 35-35. That's insane. Cool. And that means the Bears are answering. The Bears are answering every time, because they went down. They were up 7-0. Obviously, the first play was a pick six. But then San Fran went down and tied it. Then they went up. And then the Bears, it was just back and forth. And I thought that was really, really encouraging for us to see. Caleb with 330 on 2 tutties. So that was good. Mike, great stuff today, buddy. I really appreciate your time. Do me a big favor, though, before you go. Let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, you can find me at A to Z _ Payton on Twitter. And then you can find all my work at A to Z sports.com/Detroit. And then we are on TikTok, Instagram with a bunch of videos every week, A to Z sports/Detroit. So you can find us everywhere. Find me everywhere.
Excellent. Great stuff, buddy. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
All right. Guys, that's Mike Payton from A to Z Sports. 38-35 prediction. Lions he chose. He Nostradamusized. I know it wasn't a popular thing, but he gave some valid points. Bears defense, if they're not taking the ball away, is not a very good defense. And as he said, if they can stay clean, it definitely has shootout potential. And if it's a shootout, Caleb gets his 270 plus and becomes the first Bears quarterback to hit the 4,000-yard mark in the history of this organization. The last team in the NFL after we revolutionized it with the forward pass with Sid Luckman. Now we're the last team to get a 4,000-yard passer. Crazy. But listen, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my mans in them. I feel my man's in them. Glynn Morgan. So don't go anywhere, folks. On the other side of the break, Glynn Morgan and I talk all things Bears, Lions. So keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
At a time when the news seems as subjective as the partisan politics dividing this country, independent professional journalism has become a resource people need to get the honest and accurate information for their lives. That's why I created JCoyneReports.com. As a born and raised Chicagoan, I know the city better than anyone. So my investigative stories are all original, and they'll go deeper to expose the truth by using information obtained from public information databases and in-depth interviews with the movers and shakers. My future stories will introduce you to people and businesses who are changing the world, not just Chicago. My missing person stories will spotlight those who you don't hear about in the mainstream media who are often overlooked. If you want to hear my personal views on things around the world, check out my blog site, which is based off of factual information on my life experiences. There's also past episodes of my weekly sports podcast show, What's Up Cuz, that I host with my real-life cousin, Lance Irvin. So if you're looking for all this information and more, check out JCoyneReports.com and follow me on Twitter at JCoyne.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
To the 35-yard line it goes. And a first down for the Bears. And Williams to the air one more time, sending it downfield to the end zone for Bird, and he's got it! Touchdown, Chicago!
Game after game, and game winners out there all the way across the field here. And I am going to watch this thing over the top, and just a little flip of the wrist here for Williams under pressure.
Theo Benedict, the extra offensive lineman, moved. Free play for Williams as the flag is down, so Caleb looking to launch, does towards the end zone, touchdown, Colston Loveland!
After he knew he had it, watch him just drift over here, buy a little time. He knew he was going to throw it deep. Why not? You have nothing to lose at that point, and just roped it in there. That thing never got more than like 10 yards off the ground.
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC. Those were the boys. Those were the boys. Man, that was a rough one. And again, I wasn't as upset as I thought I would be. I was sad. Don't get me wrong. I was upset, but I wasn't as crazy as I thought I'd be. Show we can put up points with some quality teams. And as we were talking to our last guest, Mike Payton from A to Z Sports. It's the first time in the history of the NFL that a game has been tied 0-0, 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 28-28, 35-35. That is insane. First time in the history of the league That is wild. But it goes to show that the Bears are able to score points quickly, especially with the amount of weapons that the Bears have, and Caleb taking advantage of those weapons. So, but without further ado, my next guest, my man's in them. He's a Bears analyst, and he's been rocking with us for a couple of years now. He's a good friend of the program. Find him on Twitter at Glynn Morgan. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports. Glynn Morgan. Glynn, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Hey, Happy New Year, brother. How you feeling?
Good. Oh, hold on. I got to switch hat. So I had this guy from Detroit talking about the Lions, and he had a Pistons hat on. I'm like, hold on, player. I'm like, you got the Pistons hat on? I was like, Detroit sucks.
For sure. Detroit sucks, and Green Bay, Green Bay. So, those things will never change.
Never. Ever. Hey, big game last week for the Bears. As I said, I wasn't as upset as I thought, with the underthrow of the tough one to Jade Walker on that fourth down. Or not fourth down, but second down, I believe it was. But it showed we can score. It showed Caleb, especially with no pass rush, or if we get good pass protection, Caleb can find some people. Caleb had the best game statistically, 330, with 2 tutties. How upset were you, or were you upset with the loss last week?
No, wasn't upset at all. I say that because you just go back 3 months ago, we weren't expecting this. Go back 2 months ago, we were like, maybe. Go back a month ago, it's like, man, can we? And so, to your point, as you said earlier, the Bears show that they can score. Now, granted, San Francisco's defense is banged up and they're not as good. They have a hard time stopping people too. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But you still have to play the game. You still have to execute. And what we saw from the Bears the last game was a lot better execution, a lot sooner in the game than what we've seen throughout the season. And keep in mind, Bears are down Odunze. The offensive line was banged up. Guys were dealing with the flu. Everyone wasn't completely healthy. And they still put up, 38 points, had a chance to win the game in the end, which, again, the majority of the year outside of the Detroit game and probably the Baltimore game, the Bears have been in every single game with a chance to win. And they've come through more than not. So, no, not upset. I think disappointed, not even really disappointed. It was like a missed opportunity to maybe secure the first seed, and you still beat Detroit to do that as well, and something else have to go your way too. But you show that you hung against a team that's going to be in the playoffs, and you played in San Francisco. So if you have to go back, you're good. Mentally, you're good. You're familiar. There's a comfortability level that you would not necessarily have had per se if you didn't have a chance to play them this year. So that took care of that. You're not worried about Philadelphia in terms of if you have to go to Philadelphia. You probably won't have to, but even playing Philadelphia, whether it's at home or on the road, he's like, okay, we know we can do this. Green Bay, we know we can do this. The Rams are probably a bit of a mystery, but you look at the Rams, they can't stop the run. It's what the Bears do extremely well. So there isn't a team, and Seattle's probably the only team that is more of a mystery. And as Bears fans and as people who watched Sam Darnold play in the division last year, you're like, he can be had, So, I think the Bears are a legitimate playoff team in the NFC. I think they have a legitimate chance to win in advance. Get to the Super Bowl, we'll see. But, I'm not discouraged at all. I think the Bears have shown that they are a competent team, and we could not say that this time last year or the last several years.
Agreed. Yeah, I was upset, but I wasn't furious. I wanted to win. I wanted him.
Always.
I know they had the opportunity. Even with the DJ being open on the other side of the field, would have been an extremely crazy throw. He would have had to set his feet. I mean, it could have been done, but it would have been a very, very, very difficult. And me, I how I feel about Caleb. And I'll critique him whenever it's necessary, but I'm not going to pile shit on and make stuff up just because just because that would have been a crazy throw if he saw him, and I think DJ should have kept jumping, but moving toward him, not just standing still. Like it would have made it an easier throw. But I was cool with it. What I wasn't cool was the first game of the year, the Minnesota loss. That one really bothered me. The Baltimore game really bothered me. Those are two games that I'd love for us to have back, because we're losing to a backup quarterback. We stopped Derrick Henry. Wasn't like you know what I mean. So those are two things that you see when you sit back and reflect. Like those are the opportunities that coaches talk about. Like you only get 17 guaranteed, and when you lose them, when you don't take advantage of them, you lose them and you can't get them back. And I think that, to me, those two games really stick out the most in my mind to this point of the year.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree for your perspective for yourself. I look at it a little bit differently in the sense that everything is a journey and a learning process along the journey. You maybe don't have the Bears where they are if they don't have some of these losses. The Minnesota one was a stupid loss, but it was necessary for the next ass whooping that Detroit gave us, because the first Minnesota loss, you're like, you know what, we're better than this. It's kind of fool's gold. You really weren't. The Detroit game showed you, son, you're not ready yet. And so I think those two back-to-back, and being 0-2 and being 0-2 in the division, put everybody on notice immediately. And it made everything the coaches had to say that much more important and much more of an imperative. And I think for the coaches themselves, it had to hold them accountable too. So everyone at the same time was being held accountable for mistakes made, coaching, execution, so on and so forth. I think the Baltimore game was a bit more disappointing. I follow you on that one because of the situation. You didn't have Lamar. You're facing Huntley. Hasn't really, played much, even though he's been in that system, years in the past. But it just seemed like, how are you losing to this team? But again, keep in mind, it was a road loss. Learning how to win on the road, no matter who the competition is still a learning process. So from that, again, I think the Bears grew to say, hey, we've won some close games. Again, we got to tighten stuff up. And from that, the Bears have been a much better team, a lot less penalties. They still have that issue, but a lot less since then. And just in terms of execution, I think they got better. And I think Caleb's gotten better with his process in terms of going through his reads, being a better quarterback. We're seeing Caleb do things now where he's pulling the Aaron Rodgers type stuff, where he's getting guys, with the Paytons, he's getting them,
right
off sides. Whereas before, earlier in the season, he didn't quite have the Paytons down, and our own linemen were getting off sides. So I think everything's part of that journey. And so with that, I don't look at it in a disparaging way. I don't look at it as a missed opportunity. I looked at it as a growth opportunity. And I think the Bears took the high road with that growth, and that maturation is where we see the Bears right now, poised to be a playoff problem for other teams. Hey, you don't win the North. It's a tough division. You don't win that division and come through thinking that it was just all, on accident. There are things you had to do along the way, because Detroit is not the same team this time of the year that they were at the beginning of the year. They beat, yeah. So yeah, man, it's a growth, man. And I think we're in a good spot right now.
Yeah. And I've said it as well. I mean, everything that happens with Caleb and this team is forging this team into who they're going to be by the end of the season and in 2026 and beyond. All the good, the bad, the excellent, the crappy, everything and everything in between is forging Caleb and this team into the powerhouse that we anticipate it being. And I'm okay with it. It's like I would tell my people, like, be here, enjoy it. Enjoy everything, because we're watching this team grow week by week by week. Because if you saw this Bears team week 1 and 2, you're like, win the North, right? And look where they're at now. And the learning. And I think for us, the best thing that happened to us was probably the thing that I complained about the most was the bye after week 4. I'm like, that's an early ass bye. That means we got, we're off, and then we have 13 games in a row. But after we started off 0-2, I was like, man, this bye couldn't come at a more perfect time, because it got us an early chance to reset they did, and man, they just took off from there.
Yeah, for certain. And we've watched, I've always been a big proponent of it's not just a quarterback that has to develop, especially when you have a young team. Everybody needs to develop. And I think that's one of the really positive things I've seen with this coaching staff. They've done it from the position coaches on to the coordinators, and obviously the head coach. They've done such a good job at developing players. And we've seen Austin Booker really come on. He's looking like he could be legit edge rusher on that side to hold that down. We've seen obviously Nashawn Wright, just out of nowhere have a exceptional season,
all pro season, really,
for real. And obviously the running back of Monangai, seeing 7th round pick, be an integral part of the offense. So much so that fans are expecting him to truck somebody, truck somebodies during the course of a game. And Luther Burden, let's not forget about him, or Colston Loveland, two guys who actually, in my opinion, have two of the better hands on this team. Especially when they focus, it's like sometimes the youth gets in the way and they want to run before they catch the ball.
Yep.
But outside of that, like when they're catching the ball, like it's not like Zacchaeus where it's going through your arms and that kind of stuff. I know I called out Zacchaeus, but he's had some really bad drops this season. We're not seeing that from Luther Burden or Loveland. And then Burden with the ball in his hands after the catch, he's just, he's breathtaking at times. He's just you're waiting to see something special happen. And again, this is a team that hasn't been completely healthy, whether it's on the offensive side or the defensive side. So everyone's developed. I think the coach has done a really good job. And I think that's what makes everyone in Chicagoland anticipating, like you said, going forward, because it doesn't look like too many guys off the coaching staff are going to be leaving. And it looks like they're the players, who are free agents probably want to come back. So that helps you with negotiations. And obviously it's going to become a destination for a lot of other players that are free agents, because they can just see the synergy that's been created, and just at that, how much of that energy that's in the locker room and translates onto the field, and vice versa. And so it looks authentic. It looks genuine. It looks like something I want to be a part of if I'm a free agent. And I think I can get to a team where, the winning and that whole culture and that whole environment is going to be something that's where the arrow's pointing up. And it's like, and not only that, but this is one of those times where you can say the city can work for you, and it's Chicago, because it is a major metropolitan. There are so many things off the field that you can do. It's just, right now it seems like, there's a ceiling that we don't know how high it can go up. And we have not been able to say that for close to about 20 years. And that's crazy.
Look at this. How crazy is this? All right. 600 yards. I'm sorry, 4, not 5. 4 guys with 600 yards receiving.
Yeah.
That is insane. And think about it. Roman's been hurt the last couple of weeks. DJ was, not thrown to, ignored for so long.
Right.
Luther Burden and Colston Loveland, those guys really didn't get involved early on. They might have been. I don't even know if Luther Burden was dressed a couple times. You know what I mean? And for him to come to be at this end of the season, at this point of the season, and he's one of the 4 guys with 600 yards, it shows me a couple things. One, Ryan Poles got some ballers. Okay, he got some ballers. But 2, Caleb is spreading the ball around spectacularly. Because now, who the hell? This is the thing that I wanted. Who are you going to cover? Who are you going to shade the safety to? It don't matter, because I got 3 other guys that I can throw to that can make plays, and that's what what has gotten me really excited. Is Caleb has really started to take advantage of. Now he's not just he hasn't been able to force his own because Roman's been out. But now he's built up trust, and that's the most important thing. He's built trust with Colston Loveland. He's built trust with Luther Burden, and now it's like he can truly and DJ after the one game a couple weeks ago.
Cleveland.
Now he's like, I can really literally go through my progressions and throw to the guy that's open. I don't have to force it to anybody because I'm comfortable and confident that whoever I get the ball to is 1, going to catch it, and 2, probably going to get some yak afterwards. And make a big play.
And to your point, with the ball being spread to everyone, this is one of the situations where the passing game helps the running game. because your safeties aren't going to be coming down low in the box because you're going to need them out in the coverage. You're going to need the safeties on one of these or both of the tight ends to help you out a little bit in the middle of the field. And once the running game, you're facing maybe 7 in the box. Now you're not facing 8. Sometimes you might be facing 6, or you're facing nickel coverage, and Monangai is going to truck some small DB that's out there trying to tackle him. And then your running game, conversely helps your passing game, because now it's like, oh man,
they got to come down.
Right now they got to come down, and then that opens up everything else. So your play action. So it's really that situation where if you're calling the plays the right way and you're setting things up and you're orchestrating your offense, you can really have a dynamic offense that does everything fundamentally well and executes well. And really the defense finds itself not knowing what to do. They're on their heels because they don't know what to stop first or how to stop whatever they're trying to stop first, let alone respond to the contingency or to the counterpunching that the Bears are really good at doing. And I would say that for certain that Coach Johnson is very good at counterpunching. So yeah, man, it's an interesting situation that here in Chicagoland we have not seen, where you have really good, circulation through your offense with your receivers and your running backs, offensive line, and then you have a defense where it's not as good as it could be, but man, they are making things work. They're making lemonade with the lemons that they've been dealt with defensively all year. And so that lets you know you've got good coordinators and good position coaches on that side too. So again, the arrow pointing forward, whether or not the Bears make it to the Super Bowl, whether or not the Bears, get to the NFC Championship game, whether or not the Bears even win a playoff game. And I know that's blasphemous for me even put that out there, but even if none of those things happen in terms of the Bears advancing past the first round, this is an extremely successful season. And I think whatever failures that may happen throughout the remainder of this postseason going forward, I think that's going to be fuel for the Bears in the ensuing seasons. And I really, it's almost like I want to get to 2026, 2027 season because I think that version of the Bears is going to be like, oh man, like, dude, like this team. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. And Caleb's still learning, man. And Caleb is still learning, but I like that he exhibits such confidence, especially, when the game is on the line. There's that I've been here before type mentality that the whole team has, and they're feeding off one another. Caleb's feeding off the coach. The players are feeding off of Caleb. As a team, they're all feeding off one another, and it's fun to watch. And I don't even get excited in terms of like my heart's racing at the end of the game. I'm really like, I just want to see how they're going to do it. I mean, I'm just like, I just want to see how they're going to do it this time. It's like, man, this is cool. Like I've never had this amount from my own team, home team, in the course of a season, like ever in my lifetime. Where these games are just you're on edge like throughout the course of a season. A game here or there, a playoff game for certain, but not like this, man. And it's fun to watch. This really is. It's fun to watch.
It really is. And you're right. When they scored, I'm like, oh man, they left a lot of time on the clock. I'm like, all right, we'll just go down. Or, and I just thought it was not gonna be a big deal. I just thought, and you start getting, you start anticipating them coming back. Like, oh, it's not gonna. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when. How much time are we leaving on the clock? That's the question. How much time are we leaving on the clock is going to be the question. And it has been fun. And the one thing that I really, my hat goes off to Caleb is his willingness to learn. All right. He's got under center. All right. He wasn't very good at it early in the season. He's much, much better. And that all plays in. And I guess Ben finally got to him and said, look, you go under center and you turn your back to the defense. They think it's run. And you want to hit this 4,000 yard mark, then you better be able to turn your back to the defense on this play action. And talk to me about the growth of Caleb about in that situation, getting under center, being more than willing to turn his back to the defense on play fakes. And some of his play fakes are really, really, really good play fakes. But empty hand in the gut. And when you see the all-22, they might not even need to see the all-22, but you see the safeties coming down because they think it's a run, and all of a sudden, no shit, it's not. Here comes Coastal Loveland behind the safeties, and bang, just hit him for 15, 20 yards. Talk about the growth of Caleb and his ability to be malleable and coachable. to get to this point?
Well, I'll start off with one of the words you used earlier, and that's trust. That trust was built. You're not going to be able to do those things if you don't have trust. If you don't trust in what the coaching staff is telling you, if you don't trust your receivers to be where they need to be, if you don't trust offensive line to protect you when you have to turn your back, if you don't trust the running backs to do their pass pro, if you don't trust running backs to be able to leak out and catch the ball, all those things come from trust, and it comes from failure. And Johnson said that earlier. He's like, hey, I gave a lot to him early on. You flooded him, and there's some failure there, but the growth from that shows the maturation of Caleb. And there's a lot of talk at times about, whether or not he was a selfish player. He being Caleb was a selfish player, and if he is someone that thought beyond just his own goals. And I think what we saw last year on the sidelines a lot of times was the frustration, and maybe the maturity part was dealing with the frustration. It wasn't that he was being an immature, petulant person. He was just frustrated and dealing with that frustration. When you're young, when you have a lot on your shoulders and everything else, there's a growth that has to come from that. And what we've seen,
the incompetence, and he probably saw and felt
no
the
doubt.
incompetence, and that was a bit. You come from a guy like Lincoln Riley, where he's taking you to high levels to the Heisman, and then you get a coach who's, and an offensive staff who is their coaching is for shit. And that's where I think a lot of his frustration came from, not being petulant, as many of us thought, myself included. Right. It's like, this dude don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Well, in the book that came out, what was it? He wasn't being given as much, help when it came to going through film. And when you're a rookie quarterback, you need all help you get, especially when the whole franchise is saying, hey, lead us. It's like, well, guys, like I'm watching film and I think I'm doing what's right. But there was no help. There was no veteran quarterback. That's something I talked about extensively last year.
That's one thing you're always harping on that one.
It's egregious. It was egregious. And that was something that I was fireable offense to me when it came to polls, because you finally get your first round quarterback, your franchise quarterback, and you freaking hang him out to dry in a lot of ways. So again, trust. And that had to be built because so much was damaged, or at least in question, if not damaged, from what happened last year. So that trust thing was the first thing that I think had to be established between the head coach and the quarterback, obviously, and then from that disseminate through the rest of the coaching staff and the players. But from Caleb's point that you asked in terms of him learning, Caleb has always been very mature about his football quest and his football goals and his football journey. Again, let's not forget, this is a young man who in high school was living on his own, and his parents are like, hey, you live on your own. Like that just blows my mind. Like even as a kid in college, it's like, all right, I'm on my own, but you sure you want me on my own? There's so much you can get into. Yeah, and so much you can get into. And even if you're not getting into it because, you may be an affable person, the people around you think that, hey, we can do whatever because there's no parental, guidance around. Sometimes your friends get you in trouble is my point. And so he was able to maintain and control. That's a level of maturity. And then when you get to college, and then, not only going from Oklahoma, but then going, you're from the East Coast is where you grow up. You go to Oklahoma for school, and then you transfer and go to the left coast. And not just the left coast, you go to LA. So now there's a lot more type of, all types of debauchery that could potentially happen and distractions that could potentially happen. And now you got money too because of NIL. I mean, man, dude, think about
the hills of LA overlooking the city. I was like, remember when the pivot went over there? I was like, damn.
Okay. So think about the level of maturity he already had just as a human being. So for him to be coachable, I'm not shocked by that. He just needed to have someone that would hold him accountable and who he could respect. And I've said again before, and I'll say it one more time, a lot of his trajectory to me really mirrors Brett Favre and Holmgren more than anything else, because you have a player who can make things happen, and he knows he can make things happen. He has the ability to do that, and he falls in love with his ability to do that, and he trusts in himself to do that. That's great, but not all the time. You've got to be able to harness that in. You got to be able to work within structure, because it's not just all about you and what you can do. It's about what we need to do and what we can do as a team. And just like Favre, it took couple of years. And then once he got reined in, 3-time MVP, back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, Hall of Fame career. And Caleb is a lot more mature than Brett Favre, as a person. So just imagine with the focus of Ben Johnson and Caleb where they're going, and we've seen that development. To your question, we've seen the development over the year. Yeah, trusting to run the play action, seeing success and understanding what that means, and even learning from your failures. We talked about it earlier about the cadence. A lot of times the Bears were committing so many pre-snap penalties. You don't see the pre-snap penalties anymore. You might get a holding call here and there, but you're not getting the pre-snap penalties. What we've seen now is an evolution to where I think in 2 of the last 3 games in that back-to-back games, Caleb's is drawing the defense off sides. And I was at a bar, watching the game with San Francisco, and everybody, all the fans, they're into it. Everyone's like, free play, free play, free play, and he did. He took advantage of it, not unlike, I know it's blasphemous to mention Aaron Rodgers, but just like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And a big time touchdown. And you can see the look in the faces of the defense when it's late in the game. I saw in a couple of snapshots, tight shots they had against San Francisco. They're like, oh shit, too much time. And so Caleb has grown in immense proportions from a player who felt he had to make everything happen to a player who knows he can make things happen, but makes it happen within the structure of the offense and with the involvement of all of his teammates. And Odunze going out probably helped him become that much better acquainted with the rest of his teammates and develop, again, that connection and that trust that you talked about. So, right now, Caleb, I think he's leading the NFL in interception percentage. It's like passes thrown. It's like 1.1%. It's like tops in the NFL. And last year, he did a good job last year, not turning it over a lot. But to go from that to that kind of stat, that's incredible, man. And this is, keep in mind, I say that's incredible because this is his first year in this system. Don't forget, this is his first year in this system. And the other thing to show another growth to your question, he's much more purposeful and decisive when he decides to run with the ball. And he wasn't doing that before. He was scrambling around trying to make magic.
And he runs. And when he pulls it down, he's not faking it. No, he runs because he's gotten faster. He had to work with a speed coach. He's gotten faster, and he's getting to that first down, stepping out of bounds. Stepping out of bounds.
Yeah, I think to your point, faster. I think his speed is. I think he's got more purposeful, and more. His intent is to run and not to scramble. Because I think he's as fast as he's always been, but it's different when you I'm going to run as opposed to I think I might run. That hesitation right there may get you caught up and be a yard or half a yard short. Now he's much more purposeful. And even when he throws the ball away, because he realizes the more I scramble, the more time I'm wasting, especially late in the game. He's like, let me throw it away right away because I need these seconds. And that was something that he had to learn along the way. So, man, you could, if anyone has the time, fans out there, all of us being Bear fans, just go back. And if you have an opportunity to watch all the games, you'll see it incrementally. How he's getting better, even in the mistakes, how he's learning from them and not repeating them the same way. And it's been fantastic to watch his growth. It really has been. And I'll say this last time I'll probably come about saying this. You see the difference between someone like him and someone like the aforementioned Justin Fields. It's like Justin's ability to see the field and to grow from mistakes and to trust and to be able to layer the passes across the middle, it never really developed. And you see that with Caleb. It's like the arm talent's there, but the willingness to make those throws. And Purdy was making those throws too. I like Purdy at Iowa State. I'm not the biggest Purdy fan. I think he's talked up a little bit too much, but all things considered, he's a very good player and he makes things happen. And they very easily could have won that Super Bowl a few years ago. And he was shredding the Bears. And he was making some plays. It's like, man, dude, okay, he's on one right now. But again, he threw the interception, second play of the game?
First play.
First play of the game. And then he comes right back the next drive, and he threw a couple, darts in the middle of the field where I'm like, man, you really don't give a F, do you? Like you're pissed, and you go, you know what? No, I'm going to show you I can do this. And he kept doing it throughout the game. And in the middle of the field, the tight ends were killing the Bears, and Pearsall was killing the Bears. So yeah, man, that's that's that level of reaching and maturing and going to the next level type kind of stuff, where it's like, I know what I'm doing, understanding what I'm doing, and now I'm learning what I can do more of. And again, I've said it like 7 times. It's a beautiful thing to see. It really is.
You brought a comparison, and I think it's very apropos. The one to Favre. Favre was a gunslinger coming out of Southern Mississippi. He's light years ahead of Favre in the maturity aspect.
Sure.
The reason Favre got traded out of Atlanta, because he was a drunk. He was out partying all the time. The reason I know this, when I lived in New York, there was a girl who moved to New York from Atlanta, would party with him. She was like, I used to party with him like every weekend. I'm like, get out of here, because and that was the thing. It was like he was just immature. He was out running crazy. Didn't take football serious, and that's not the situation with Caleb. Caleb takes football serious, and they both had that gunslinger mentality where they had to learn how to play in structure. Holmgren, forced Favre to learn how to play in structure. Ben Johnson is forcing Caleb to learn how to play in structure, and Caleb has taken that like a fish to water, because he understands, oh shit, if I'm back here with a good play fake, these safeties are coming down. I got Luther Burden, I got Colson Loveland, I got Roma Dunze, I got DJ Moore. I can hit behind him. He understands now how important that is, how complementary football is at this level, and he's feeding into it. And you're right. As I said, I know my guy Rick, he's not in the chat today, but he would always put F 2026, because I would say it's wait till next year. But I can't wait, because regardless of what happens this year, all right, bounce to the first round, NFC title game, get to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, lose the Super Bowl, not get there, whatever. Think of Caleb getting better. He doesn't have to learn a new offense next year. Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Colson Loveland, Cole Kmet. They don't have to learn new offenses next year. Now you can refine those, and now you can build on those offenses, and the confidence that this offense has, especially because of the offensive line, is through the roof. And you come back, and this could be like the 84 Bears, all right, when they got knocked out by Washington, all right? Oh, no, Niners.
Niners.
87, Washington knocked out. They ended Payton's career. But they lost to the Niners. This could be that situation, and revisiting itself again, and that'd be a phenomenal thing, because man, I'm just the way that these guys are really taking. The one thing that I do love, Glenn, is that the team really enjoys being together.
Yeah,
you know they hang out. You know they're at such and such a house. You know they're at Caleb's house, or they're at DJ. Maybe not DJ, because DJ got out the kids, but like Roma Dunze's place. You know what I'm saying? You know they're hanging out there acting a fool, on days off, because they enjoy hanging out with each other. They enjoy, and that's one of the things that on all the successful teams that I played on or coached, that's what I saw. We would love to hang out with each other, or my players would love to hang out with their teammates, and they would do it all the time. And that you build that bond, and I'm seeing that with this team, an actual genuine love for each other, and that is a phenomenal thing, and a scary ass thing for a whole bunch of other NFL teams.
Yeah, I think even the coaches are have a synergy and connection with amongst themselves, and like a brotherhood in a lot of ways, and that when the coaches aren't agendizing what they're doing, when they aren't just out for themselves trying to get the next job and the next position, because they know that it'll come, but they're more in tune with the now, presently, and winning. And you see it. I mean, you see it in Antoine Randolph in terms of how engaged he is with his receivers. You see it how the running backs.
See it on social media before they come out. I was like, let's go. He's getting there. He's sitting there waiting out for him to come out, but slap hands for warm-ups. You're right, man.
Bieniemy's an older coach, so he may not show that enthusiasm externally, but in his coaching, you see his personality and how much more tougher, and that's a bad English, I get it, but how tougher and how much more with
physical,
intent, more physical, the physicality and the intent behind the physicality with Monangai is kind of his pedigree anyway, so to speak. But with Swift, man, somewhere around week 3 to 5, his physicality in running the ball was like, oh, okay, you're throwing shoulders. Oh, you're carrying people. Even in the last game against San Francisco, I think it was first quarter, he got tackled by 2 guys, but one of the guys he knocked back and rolled back about a good 2-3 yards. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'll tell you what happened, Glenn. After the 176 by Cal Monangai, that's when that shit started happening. Like, oh, yeah, you know what? My knee doesn't feel as bad as it did before. Oh, yeah, no, coach, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. And he had, and this is what Ryan. And again, hats off Ryan Poles. When Ryan Poles talked about it's going to be difficult to make this team because there's going to be competition. There's competition. You see a 7th round draft pick knocking people over, getting 176 yards while you're hurt. He's like, shit, you ain't calling me Wally Pip too. And he adjusted. He adjusted his style of play, and he was never afraid to run between the tackles. I thought he would be last year, and he proved me wrong. He was never afraid to run between the tackles, but he wasn't running people over. He wasn't lowering that shoulder. And this year, it is phenomenal to see that because now you know these guys are going to get that tough yard, and you know you better bring it because these guys are they're doing what I love. It's called you're playing behind your pads. They're leading with their shoulder pads, and like you mentioned, that dude, 2 guys brought him down. One dude got torpedoed a couple yards. Like, oh shit, I didn't have a good base, and he got me.
Right. I didn't think that was going to happen. And I'm not, but by no means, because this is my favorite football player of all time. I'm not comparing him to Walter Payton, but Walter Payton's mentality of, you know what, hit them before they hit you or give them something so
deliver.
Absorb. Yeah, deliver so you're not absorbing as much. And you're starting to see that mentality. And Eric Bieniemy, you know, you want to call him old school, fine, call him old school. But, you know, old school is still in education, you know. So these guys are taken to that. And it's good to see because here's what's being established. And I'm sure some people have probably talked about it. If they haven't, I'm surprised they haven't. But what's being established is templates for the type of players that are going to be needed to succeed in this offense and in the defense as well. So, you know, certain edge rushers, Dennis Allen, we know kind of what he likes because we've seen that with the New Orleans Saints, and we saw it to some degree when he was over with the Raiders. And so you're like, okay, maybe you're not getting the 6'4", 235-pound, you know, speed edge rusher. You're probably going to be looking at 6'5", 6'6", 265 to 275 on the edges. You know, your defensive backs, you're going to start seeing a lot more 6'1", 6'2", long limb defensive backs as far as your corners go. We have those already. And then with your offensive line, you're going to see the type of offensive linemen that are going to be necessary and needed for this to work. And as well as with your running backs. We saw a template of that in Detroit already, you know, with Sonic and whatever they call them. You know, it's right, Sonic and Knuckles. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs is a unique talent. I'm not saying that those guys fall out are hanging around every street corner. They aren't, but you have a template for that. You got your speed to power type kind of guy. You got your guy who's a power guy but has hands, a guy that can backs that are good in pass pro, guys that are interchangeable, so that when you put your offense out there, you don't know if they're going inside or outside. But one guy's more effective inside, and one guy's more effective outside. But they can both be interchangeable. Your receivers, you're starting to see that. Your tight ends, we've seen that with the draft of Loveland, having commit here already. So we're seeing a template. And once you have that, you can do what the Pittsburgh Steelers have done for 30, 40 years. You can do what the Ravens have been doing since they've been in Baltimore. You can do what the Chiefs have been doing since they've had their success. You can do what the Eagles have been doing with their recent success. You can do what Green Bay has been doing for 20, 30 years. You have a template. And once you have that in place, now it's just a matter of getting the players that fit that. When you don't know what you're doing, you're all over the place. You've been what the Chicago Bears have been for the last 20 years, all over the place.
And that's the one thing that I talk about coaches is putting the player, giving everyone a role.
Mm-hmm.
All right, giving everyone a role.
Yeah,
it's important to get the people that you want to fit the role that you want that particular person to play. And that's the great thing about Ben Johnson. He's getting those people to fit the role he's going to give them. You are perfect for this role that I have. like you're like a movie director. Like you're the perfect actor for this role.
Right.
You're the perfect guy. And that's so important. Not just any running back, but I need this running back or this one. One of these two are the ones that I need. And that's what I think why this team is going to be so good for a long time is because of Ben Johnson knows what the hell he wants because this is his offense. He created it. Yes. So he knows who he needs, what type of player he needs. He's going to go there. He's going to watch film. Okay, I see this guy in college, this guy in college. So if we can't work out a deal with this guy here and his contract, because it's a contract here, he's going to get a lot of money. Guess what? He's gone. We got this guy coming in who can do the same thing that this guy's doing until he gets crazy money, and we'll go get the next guy.
Because you know what it looks like.
That's exactly why I think Ben is so – he's worth that $13 million. He might be underpaid. He might be underpaid.
Let's not forget Dennis Allen as well, because you've got a veteran coach.
Yes.
And so and with Ben Johnson, you can trust and leave, a lot of things to Dennis Allen, and then you can lean on him. Ben Johnson's even said that in what I think in his interview with former Colts with Tony Dungy. He was talking about how he can, lean on Dennis Allen because, he does have that experience as far as being a head coach and being in the league a little bit longer and being a coordinator of renown. So he's not confused. He knows what he needs to work. And again, when you know what it looks like, that's a hurdle that you've already overcome. At that point, then it's just a matter of getting your pieces in play and then just, being as creative and being as consistent as you can with those plays. Because again, to your point, once the players cuts out the bullshit, and once the players know what they need to do, players always say, like, man, when I know what I need to do, I'm good. You put me in a position to succeed and I know what I need to do, I'm good. It's when they don't know, the frustration sets in, and then, all those self, agendas start taking over, and then the team is lost, and you've lost your team, you've lost your locker room, so on and so forth. We ain't seeing that right now, and I don't imagine that we'll see that in the foreseeable future. All things come to an end at some point, but in the here and the now, enjoy it, man, because presently speaking, this team is capable of beating any team in the NFL. They are. Agreed. There's not one team in the NFL that I don't think they can beat.
Agreed.
Not a one. Not a one.
We were talking about it eliminates the bullshit. Like, you like this kid. Ryan Poles likes this kid. I don't like this kid because of this. Okay, we don't get him and then find out that he doesn't fit exactly what I want because I know what I want. I've done it before as Dennis Allen. I've done it before as Ben Johnson as an offensive play caller. I've done it. I see it. I know what I know. I see what I know what I want. And we ain't going to get anything that I don't want, anything that I question maybe, could he, may. No, I don't want a guy who could fit the system. I want a guy that will fit my system. And that's what's awesome about it is that now they're in Ryan Poles here. So Ryan Poles going to be a better draft. Hell, just look at the draft, the rookies they got now.
Yeah, that had a lot of Ben Johnson.
They're all playing. They're all contributing.
Yeah, they had a lot of Ben Johnson.
At a high level. Not just, okay, we're rotating. But one guy, even as Trapillo, who's a tackle, Colson Loveland, Luther Burden, those guys are contributing this year because I don't know, I wasn't in the war room, but if I was a betting man, I'd say Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen had a lot to say about who the hell they picked, and they got their guys. And this team is the cool part about it is you get young players in this system, growing in this system, young players who have early success. You only anticipate them getting better and better and better. And that is a scary thing for a lot of the other teams. Let's talk a little X's and O's. Caleb, 270 yards away from the 4,000-yard plateau that everybody's so adamant about him getting.
I don't care about that. Never did. Yeah,
here's why. Do you think that this game is a Ben Johnson revenge game? And because of what happened week one, put a 50 burger on us, beat us by 30 points. People were talking shit. And I know Ben's very robotic, but he's also very aware too. He knows what was said. He knows a lot of how it played out afterwards. You think he lets Caleb go do that and not necessarily run up the score, but maybe give him a little shot, give him an extra touchdown or two. Because you didn't have to run up the score against us, but you did.
Whether or not the score gets run up or not remains to be seen. I do think if there's an opportunity to do that, I don't think he'll hold anybody back. But I think what we'll see is a physical game. I think you can make your point by whooping somebody's ass, and you can beat them 20-10. But that 20-10 might feel like 42-10 because
you're right.
And
that is not important. It seems bigger than the score.
Yeah. And I see it more from an imposing our will type kind of situation as opposed to running up the score. Yeah, running up the score is could be an extension or a result of that. But whether or not that happens, I think impose like if you have 3 15-play drives that suck up like 6.5, 7 minutes, that Detroit offense can't be as dynamic as it wants to be if they're playing from behind. The defense is going to be worn down. So then you can maybe do another couple of quick strikes at the end if you want to. But that's like you can't. I can do whatever the hell I want to do. It's like Muhammad Ali being in a ring. There are times where he's just playing with somebody. He's just doing the jab here, talking. What's my name? What's my name? What's my name? You gonna keep calling me Cassius? What's my name? And then you let them know your name's Muhammad Ali. So the Bears can be like what? What? What'd you say? What'd you say? Yeah, we're the Kings of the North. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think from the moment, and I don't care if Ben Johnson, I don't think he even heard anybody. I think his ears heard the roar of his rage and frustration and embarrassment from that loss. At that point in time, I was like, I literally was like, oh my God, I'm so glad they got their ass whooped the way they did, because I could see it in his face. I'm like, that dude, he took it personal, but not in I'm mad. He took it as in like, okay, you show me what I'm not. I know what I need to do now. I know where I have to go. And you know what? Next time, and he didn't say it, but on his face is registered. And I've said this before too. I don't believe Ben Johnson will be the type of coach that will lose to the same team twice in the season. Now, it almost happened in Green Bay, but he didn't. They didn't. And I think with Detroit, I believe the Bears are going to beat Detroit the second time around, especially after the Bears lost to Green Bay the first time. Because I was like, man, you know what? They're there. They know what to do. They can beat this team. They can beat these teams in this division. And that's the Bears are going to be 3-3 in their division this year. And I don't think there's anything Detroit can do to stop the Bears outside of, some kind of freaky injury, of course, knock on wood, it doesn't happen. I firmly believe that the Detroit game was a win like a month ago. So yeah, man, Ben Johnson's been waiting for the Bears have been waiting for this one as a team for sure.
Yeah, you brought up a good point, and I think that's a great way to look at it. I think Ben might not say we don't have to score 50, but if we beat the ever living shit out of them, they'll know.
That means more.
They'll
know. That's the thing. They'll know. I'm telling you, man.
As real fans, you'll see. And the greatest part, I'm telling you, from my playing career, the greatest part. My guy Junior was one of my offensive linemen in the chat. One of the greatest parts of beating a team is when you not just take the will to win away, but when you take away their will to compete, and they it's like, how much more? Damn, we got 2 minutes left in the third quarter, and you see it in their eyes.
Yep,
that is the greatest feeling that I've ever had on a football field. And it's happened. I've had it a few times, seeing other teams just want to quit, just like, man, I got to just run the ball so the clock can keep running.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, stop throwing and just run the score. Just run the ball. Let the clock run, because their will to compete was taken from them. And maybe that might be Ben Johnson's MO. Like, I don't care about the score. I want them to know when they leave, when they hop on that quick 40 minute flight back to Motown, that they got their ass whooped. They are sore. All right, and they are beaten, and there's no question from anybody, Detroit media, Chicago media, Detroit fans, Chicago fans, NFL, even the jamokes on the national pundits. There's no question.
Nope.
You got your ass handed to you, whooped, and that could be, if that's Ben Johnson's MO, man, more power to him, because that is a great feeling when you take their will to compete.
Right.
Not just to win, to compete away, man. That's,
like
that's where that big score, the run-up score, can come in.
It'd be like Indiana, Alabama.
Yes. Dude, how crazy was that yesterday?
Well, as a Tennessee volunteer, anytime Alabama gets their ass whooped, I ain't mad. I'm all SEC, so okay, SEC lost, but it couldn't happen to a bunch of nicer guys. Was it them in Florida Gators? You can run. I think Indiana scored again. I mean, you can run up to score as much as you want. It couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of assholes.
Oh my goodness! I was watching. I was in a thread with the Smoke Fellas, and I was like, "Let's see," because one of the Smoke Fellas was like, "All right, Indiana, we're gonna see Indiana. It's their come to Jesus moment." I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, the way they play. I said, "We'll see. We will see what we will see." And I was like, "Damn, dude." I'm like, these jokers are for real, for real. Because it wasn't trick plays. It wasn't. It was we're smashing. Dude, 2 touchdowns late were runs right up the gut.
Execution.
Ain't nothing worse than that, dude. I was like, "Woo, these boys are for real."
Quarterback might be a little cheesy with his verbiage, but he's a dog out on the field.
He's a winner, man. Yep. He is a winner, dude. Hey, Glynn, great stuff, man. I appreciate it. Do me a big favor. 2 things. First and foremost, give me a prediction. Give me a score.
I say Chicago 34, Detroit 17.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Double the score.
That's a nice one. That's
no weather. Yeah, no weather's involved. Bears can get after them.
That's right. Okay. Let me give you my prediction.
Bears 62. Detroit
Bears 310 to 0.
-3.
-3.
Betting lines. They lost the home field advantage, worked against them.
Dude, we are very similar. I had my note cards right here, and I went to put it down. We are very, very similar, very close. But I had
31-20.
At 35-10.
Okay, yeah.
I got 35-10. I think this defense steps up. I think this offense, because he's going to run the ball, we're going to have a good time of possession.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a pick. We're going to get a turnover or 2, which allows us to double up on our scores. And Detroit's going to fall from behind. And this past defense. I think Shawn Wright is still pissed from his Pro Bowl snub. Jalen Johnson's still getting better. How do you lead the National Football League? You're tied for most turnovers, and the guy you're tied with makes a Pro Bowl, but you don't.
It's insane. Not to mention you scored off your turnovers. It's just getting them. You scored off your turnovers. That's insane.
Did I take this down? No, look at this. So here's the whole thing. Let me take this banner down so you can see. This is the Kenyon Mitchell made the Pro Bowl from Philly.
Wow.
They both play at that point. They both played 15 games. All right. The picks, none. 5 for Shawn Wright. Wow. 1 pick 6. Look at the tackles. Look at the forced fumbles. And remember, he killed the tush push.
Tush push against the Eagles.
Against the Eagles. With the forced fumble. And then the fumble recoveries. This is
that
criminal.
Makes no sense, bro. That
criminal.
Makes no sense.
So hopefully Shawn Wright makes all pro. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Because you got to go by the number. I mean, look at it. And it's not just that these numbers. All right, you talk about, I use that baseball analogy from Hawk Harrelson in home runs. Like, don't tell me how many you hit. Tell me when you hit them.
Right.
Stop the push. All right. Yes. You intercepted. You're going up against DK Metcalf, 6'4", monster, Adonis of a man. One-handed that ball in the end zone against Jordan Addison. Took that, intercepted that ball, a diving interception. Dude, these are picks. It's not like, they're tipped and went right to you. Okay, great. No. These were picks. You had a top receiver, and you locked that mother Hubbard down.
Yes.
I don't know how this, he's got to be all pro. He's got to be, man.
It's weird.
And I know he gives up a lot, and that could be his only downfall. He gives up a lot of passes. If he's not picking the ball up,
Diggs in him. Yeah, it's got a little Travion Diggs in him.
But man, when he seems to come up at the right place at the right time. So, yeah, dude, great stuff, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Happy New Year to you and the fam, my man. And we'll definitely. Hey, I'm telling you, we got to try and get you out to a watch party, bro. So the Bears pack the first round of the playoffs. We have another watch party. So whatever the day is, if it's a Saturday or a Sunday, I'll let you know because sometimes they'll play the playoff games on Saturday first. So whatever day that is, just know we're gonna have the watch party that day.
Okay.
And see if it's something that you can swing, man. It'd be great to have you out there.
Oh, for sure, man. We'd love to be there.
Cool, man. Hey, listen, you have a phenomenal day. Much love to you and the fam, and we will talk soon. All right.
All right, brother. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, chat. Appreciate you. Love you guys. Go Bears, right? We got this.
Freak down, man. Ooh, Charlie. Yeah. Beep, beep. What's that? That's an ass whooping that's backing up right now. That's an ass whooping backing up right now for the Detroit Lions. All right, man. We'll talk soon. Thanks, Glynn.
All right, I'll let you.
Guys, that's Glynn Morgan. My man's in them. I'm excited again about this Sunday. It's going to be a great game. And I think Glynn brought up a great point where not just the points, but where you physically dominate a team. And right? The score they might only win by 17 or even 10. But that 10 points seems like 100 because of the way that they whoop your ass. And anyone who's played sports, especially football, you'll know what I'm talking about, where the score was not very big, the difference, but in reality, it was canyon-sized. Like, there was no way. Everything they tried to do, defense stuffed it. Everything they tried to do, defense were hitting people. And I think you put it as a King Booker world. I think you're right. I think he is going to get Goldberg. Yes, King Booker world said Booker's going to Goldberg golf. If you don't know what Goldberg used to give the spear. And he's probably like, you know what? I'm tired of getting all these cheap-ass 15-yard penalties. I'm going to go for his ribs. I'm going to go for his ribs. And that shit hurts. Go for his ribs. Go for his lower back. I'd love to see Booker come around. And what I haven't seen in a long time is he gets it from – I had to watch how I was going to say it. He beats the right end, left tackle, comes around to the blind side, and just puts his face mask right in his upper back, and the quarterback falls face first into the ground. Like, I haven't seen that in a while, where they just hit him so hard that his head hits the ground first. I would love it. I would love it. Found out Chris talking. What's up, Chris? He's talking about, I would like for the Bears to run the ball more, beat up the opposing team defense, those body blows that we were giving teams in the middle of the season. I would too. Just run right at these jokers. All right? Offensive line is in sync. These running backs are in sync with this offensive line. I mean, the way the combo blocks and the way they get to the second level is a thing of beauty. It's a symphony. Is a chorus line of O-line play, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Excuse me. Jay Grizz checking in from City of Brotherly Love. So will Caleb get his 4K? I think he does. I think he's gotten so much more comfortable now with everybody. Glynn brought up a great point that him forced to play without Rome Odunze has forced him to find the open receiver, has forced him to go through progressions. And here's the crazy part. Whoever you throw the ball to is a dog. Throw it to DJ, dog. Luther Burden, dog. Colson Loveland, dog. Cole Kmet, okay, pretty good. But 3 of the 4 receivers you got are dogs. And so his ability or his willingness to throw it to them hopefully is heightened. So I don't need to get it, and Rome's going to be out again. Rome's going to be out again. So now give it to DJ. Give it to Luther. Give it to Colson Loveland. Man, he's quieted all that talk about you should have taken Tyler Warren, should have taken Tyler. He quieted all that talk. Foulmouth Chris said, I said Rome being here was probably going to be the best thing for Caleb. And it was. It was. It was. It was. So, listen, folks, 2 hours is come and gone. I want to thank my guests. Mike Payton, I want to thank him from A to Z Sports. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And great perspective from Detroit. He kept it a buck. Kept it a buck, and I love it. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And then my man's and them. All right. Glynn Morgan. Talking Bears. And, of course, I want to thank you guys. You make this phenomenal show. Your energy, your comments. I can feel the energy just through the comments. And that's awesome. So thank you for the love and support and the energy you bring every show. All right? We are going to bear down. We are going to whoop some ass. And this could be a methodical dismantling. Say that 5 times real fast. A methodical dismantling of the Lions. Chris, we don't. Chris says, St. Rita and Brother Rice, how do y'all get along? We don't. I just wished there's a guy in my gym. I was talking a lot of shit. And last week was the first week I talked to him since Brother Rice beat us in the state championship game. I was like, I got to congratulate you. He's like, yeah, I didn't think you were going to. I was like, I didn't really want to. I said, I got to live by my creed. I tell my players, you win with class, you lose with class. I was like, so it took me a while to muster up this little bit of class that I have, but congratulations on the win, on the title. But yeah, it was 3 weeks, almost a month. It was a month. We were just laughing. But he knew. He knew. No one asked you, Jay Grizz. No one fucking asked you. No one asked you. I told you I work out with Jordan Lynch, the head coach. Jordan's a good dude, man. He's a pretty good dude. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Yeah, you know why? Because they have like 4 people with NIL deals. Jesus Christ. They got 4 or 5 kids with NIL deals already. So win with class, lose, chase him to the bus. All right, we'll stop this blasphemy right now. Vigorous. Anyway, guys, I want you to have a phenomenal weekend. It's going to be cold. All right, let's get down. Man, if you're going to the game, man, enjoy it. Get out there. Cheer the Bears on. All right. I will see you on Monday, and I will be wearing my Bears Victory Monday t-shirt. I'll be wearing this. And Wednesday, I'll be wearing my new Bears shirt that I'll be have for sale. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you go to sportzonechicago.com, get your Chicago Bears gear. All right, get your Sports Zone Chicago gear and rock it. All right, so for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, like SuperBack, I love you, brother. Love you too, Jay Grizz. Just good old-fashioned Chicago Catholic League shit talking. That's all it is. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Have a phenomenal weekend, but your boy is out.
Come on, place the bass. Get ready for the job and answer the drop.